Hi guys, I'm Fishman2114, and today we're going to be talking about some fish that are amazing to keep in a 20-gallon tank. This isn't a top 5 video by any means, but these fish are just 5 really great suggestions for anyone with a 20-gallon tank looking for stocking ideas. 20-gallon tanks are great for a large variety of fish, and in general 20 gallons are just great for beginners in the hobby. 20-gallon tanks give you enough space to have plenty of fish while also being small enough to put them in a lot of different spaces in your home. So for that, they're just great. All these fish are really just going to be suggestions though, and they're all from my personal experiences. So please don't take any of them too seriously. And with that out of the way, here are 5 amazing fish to keep in 20 gallons. In the 5th spot, we have peacock gudgeons. Peacock gudgeons, as their name suggests, are a member of the gudgeon family, which are very similar to gobies. Now, I have actually talked about these guys way back in my top 10 community list, but I think peacock gudgeons are a great, as kind of an oddball type centerpiece fish. You're going to be able to keep like 3 of these guys in a 20-gallon tank, and they really haven't been bullies to any other fish in my personal experience. Mine actually have been really shy. In fact, I currently have one of these guys that I thought was dead just because I didn't see him for a solid 2 months. But I think that's just the case of me having a really shy peacock gudgeon. I don't think most are like this. Something I do really like about these guys are their colors. They really look beautiful and vibrant. They almost have a pinkish hued body covered with red splotches, yellow fins, and a little bit of blue in their center. They also have that black spot on their caudal fins, which just all come together and create a beautiful little fish. Their personalities are also a big plus, as they can become very personable fish. I also just love how these guys move and behave. It's all really fascinating. Feeding them can be a bit difficult, as they have been known to reject flake food. So, if you want to be safe, just feed them live Daphnia, bloodworms, and any other small live foods. But I personally feed mine flake food, so I do think that this is a bit exaggerated. Overall, if you want a differently colored and shaped centerpiece type fish for your 20-gallon tank, I think the peacock gudgeon is a really solid choice. In the 4th spot, we have the bristlenose pleco. Bristlenoses are going to do really well in a 20-gallon tank. I'd say a breeding pair is going to be best, as it won't overcrowd the tank or create too much bioload. Now, bristlenoses are an amazing algae eater. They really like soft brown or green algae, and they're absolutely going to devour them. They really help with keeping your tank glass and decor nice and clean. You're still going to have to feed them, so cucumbers, gel foods, algae wafers, and other plant-based foods are going to be perfect. Now, they are plecos, so they do produce a lot of waste, so you're going to want to keep up with this with regular water changes, and I'd honestly only keep them with live plants, just to help keep those excess nutrients down. You can also breed these guys really easily. Just have at least one male and female and some cave-like structures in your tank, and you're pretty much all set. I know a lot of breeders use PVC pipes or tiny terracotta plant pots to simulate caves for breeding. If you do plan on getting bristlenoses, you're going to want to have driftwood, as they eat that biofilm that forms on it, and they will also gnaw on the driftwood itself. So, if you have driftwood and live plants, I think bristlenoses are a great option for any 20-gallon tank. In the third spot, we have the blue ram. Now, rams in general are definitely going to be a more intermediate fish, so if you have just started fish keeping, I would not recommend these guys. Blue rams are a really good choice for a centerpiece fish, not to be confused with the electric blue ram, although they would also work. Blue rams I find to be a little cheaper and more common, so I chose them specifically for this spot. Whatever the case, blue rams are a great choice for a 20-gallon tank. They will definitely be more of a centerpiece fish, so having smaller schooling fish that complement them would be a really nice setup. These guys are also a fish that will commonly breed in a 20-gallon setup. So, if you get a male and female pair, you will most likely see some breeding behavior as well as babies. Compared to other fish on this list, they are going to be more expensive, especially if you get them from a more local, high-quality breeder. I've seen these guys being priced at $20 a fish. Not horrible by any means, but something to definitely note. In the second spot, we have panda cories. I chose the panda cory specifically because they have a smaller max size compared to most other cories. But in reality, all cories that don't get too large are going to fit really well in this role. So some cories that I wouldn't suggest are Barbados, hognose, skunk, and or green cories for a 20-gallon tank. They just get too big. Panda cories get to a max size of 5 centimeters, which is going to be perfect to have a small school of them in your 20-gallon. You will really want to keep them in a group of at least 4, but in reality, 6 or even more is definitely better. I'd say these guys would go really well with that blue ram we just talked about. Panda cories, like any other cory, are really going to be the most friendly, peaceful fish you'll ever have. I mean, I've seriously never even heard of one being aggressive. They are bottom feeders, so you'll want to provide them with bottom sinking pellets. They will eat the excess foods that fall into the substrate, but they can't live off this alone. Really, these guys are just going to work as a peaceful bottom feeding fish in a 20-gallon tank. They do like to have a lot of cover at the bottom of the tank in order to feel nice and safe. So having some live plants, driftwood, rocks, and other natural decor is really going to be appreciated by these guys. So if you're looking to get some fish to swim around at the bottom of your tank, I'd recommend the panda cory. Finally, in the first spot, we have the honey gourami. Now, if you guys have been around the channel for a while, you know that I love honey gouramis, and just gouramis in general. I actually used to have a red honey gourami who was named Honey, rest in peace, who lived in my 20-gallon tank. And for me personally, I think he was the best centerpiece fish that I've ever had in a 20-gallon tank. Honey gouramis are a smaller species of gouramis, only maxing out at 2.2 inches or 5.5 centimeters. They have a very bright, vibrant honey color, hence their name. As I said, I had the red honey gourami, which had more of a red-hued color compared to the normal honey gourami, but either way, these guys look really nice and work best with only having one per 20 gallons. They really are going to be the star of the tank, so having them with bottom feeders, small schooling fish, and generally just other smaller fish is definitely best. Honey gouramis I find to have really fun personalities. They really are an extremely personable fish. I just really love how these fish behave and interact with both the decor and the other fish in the tank. I also just think that they recognize you as their owner more than other fish do. Something to note with honeys is that they like a lot of cover. If they don't have places to hide and hover, they will get stressed out and potentially even die. So be sure to give them lots of larger plants, pieces of driftwood, and just general hiding places. They also will create a territory which they will even defend, so just be sure to give your other fish plenty of space. So if you have lots of decor and space in a 20-gallon tank, I think the honey gourami is a really solid choice for a centerpiece fish. Well, that was my look at 5 really awesome fish for a 20-gallon tank. As I said earlier, these fish aren't in any particular order, but they are some really great suggestions. There are also tons of fish out there to choose from for a 20-gallon setup, so if you did not see a fish that you wanted to see on this list, or you just want to see more suggestions, let me know if you guys would like to see a part 2 in the comments below, please. I know a lot of you guys love your apistogrammas. I mean, I'd really love to make a part 2 to this video. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Take care.